you want to spend your holidays and your birthdays.
Yeah.
Having to remember them that way.
Another summer solstice came too. The anniversary of Ron's death. The longest day following the longest year.
Think about some things that would have been and are what he would have made of his life. Whether we would have had more grandchildren, things like that.
The detectives, meanwhile, were stymied. They were convinced that Duncan was somehow involved in Ron Baker's murder. But to crack the case, they had to find him, which was not so easy.
Will we get nervous as far as the case being stagnant for, it was over a year and a half almost. You know, something's got to happen. He's got to turn up someplace.
Some people who've done terrible things imagine they can disappear forever. Fake a death, change a name, an address, an ID. But living, breathing human beings have needs. And sometimes they make mistakes.
Coming up, across the country, the case takes an unusual turn. A young man with a dubious identity.
The social security card was new, and that is suspicion right there.
What was he up to?
I'm saying to myself, that doesn't make sense.
When Dateline continues.
The Quicker Picker-Upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bounty, the Quicker Picker-Upper.
It's my 912 no days off migraine medicine. It's Ubrelvy for any time, anywhere migraine strikes, without worrying if it's too late or where I am. One dose can quickly stop migraine in its tracks within 2 hours.
Unlike older medicines, Ubrelvy is a pill that directly blocks CGRP protein, believed to be a cause of migraine. Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors. Most common side effects were nausea and tiredness.
Ask about Ubrelvy, the anytime, anywhere migraine medicine.
Even the biggest heroes started off small. Things change just like that. It's The Rock's true life story.
I'll have your finest tequila.
No.
Fine, I'll have a vodka martini.
Young Rock, February 16th on ABC.
Each year, thousands of women are diagnosed with ovarian cancer caused by use of talcum powder. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, give us a call. We're here to help. 615-242-9000.
Yeah, it's still the most wonderful time of the year. 'Tis the playoffs with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers can bet $1 on any football game to win 100. Just pick a team, and if they win, you win. It's that simple. Because life's more fun with skin in the game. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, bet $1 to win 100, and make it rain.
Right now, join Planet Fitness for no enrollment. $10 a month, no commitment. 2020 is over. Make your move today with tons of variety in our clean and spacious clubs. And spread out while you work out with cardio distancing and our new crowd meter. Plus, use our app to get moving anywhere. Your fitness is essential. Join for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Hurry, this deal ends January 27th.
Join Planet Fitness for no enrollment with no commitment. Now through January 27th.
Attention, recent studies have shown that Roundup weed killer containing glyphosate can cause non-Hodgkin lymphoma. If you or a loved one have used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you may be entitled to compensation conversation with Bart Durham today.
Kenan Thompson in a new family comedy. Kenan, Tuesday, February 16th.
Where was Duncan Martinez? For 18 months, there wasn't a trace anywhere.
Were you afraid he was just gone for good?
I knew eventually he would surface somewhere.
You felt if you could get your mitts on him again, you might be able to get him to talk.
Yeah, because I felt Duncan at some point was going to get tired of running.
Then, it was late autumn 1991, Boston, Massachusetts. 3 young men walked into the downtown Federals building and encountered a seasoned and very particular passport agent who just happened to have the same first name as the elusive Mr. Martinez.
The name is Duncan Haywood Maitland.
Duncan Haywood Maitland looked out at the 3 young men before him. One of them spoke. He needed a passport, he said, urgently. He was booked on a flight to Paris that very night. His name, he said, was Jonathan Wayne Miller.
He had several pieces of identification. One was a school transcript, which has no photo, no description, no nothing.
Maitland told this Jonathan Wayne Miller that wasn't good enough. He needed a valid ID and passport photos. So Miller and his buddies left and then soon returned with the pictures.
First thing I told him, "Where's your ID?" And he said, "It's right here. I've got 2 friends. They're going to identify me."
They're my ID.
And I said, "They're not good enough. You need a blood relative. We need either your mother or your brother to come into this agency today."
Was it panic Maitland was seeing in young Miller's eye?
He said, "It's not possible." He said he had a very difficult time at home. He was abused. He finally left home and school. He said, "That means that I only have an 8th grade education." So I said, "That's fine, but it doesn't help you with ID."
It won't surprise you to know Maitland had heard more than a few stories in his time. Had seen an abundance of bogus passport applications too. He smelled something fishy, especially when Miller presented one more piece of ID.
The Social Security card was new, and that is suspicion right there. It tells you that it's a new identity.
It doesn't tell you that it's fraudulent. It just tells you new.
It tells you both.
No proper ID, no passport. Maitland sent Jonathan Miller away, empty-handed. But he wasn't done. The next day, Maitland started his own little investigation into Jonathan Wayne Miller, who claimed to have been born in the central Massachusetts town of Webster. So Maitland called the school listed on the transcript Miller submitted.
And I talked to a guidance counselor there, and I said, it gives English 1 and English 2. He said, "That's freshman and sophomore English." And I said, "Well, what grades?" He said 9 and 10. And I'm saying to myself, this fellow quit school 8th grade. That doesn't make sense.
Something else also didn't make sense. On the fine print of that transcript,
there was a reference to a California test. A California test for a Massachusetts school? I don't think so.
Maitland knew what to do next. He called the FBI, which issued an arrest warrant for Jonathan Wayne Miller for passport fraud, only to find that Miller had vanished. And then it was 2 months later, 2 months after young Mr. Miller encountered the Boston brick wall named Maitland. The location this time? A stretch of highway near the little town of Nephi, Utah. A highway patrolman pulled over a driver on Interstate 15. The officer took the driver's ID, ran the name. Jonathan Wayne Miller. Wanted by the FBI for faking a passport application. Miller was arrested and booked in Utah jail. And in Webster, Massachusetts, a state detective went to Miller's last known address, knocked at the door, and Jim Miller, Jonathan's father, opened it.
And says, "We're looking for Jonathan Wayne Miller." I said, "Why are you looking for him? He's been dead for 21 years.
Coming up, Jonathan Wayne Miller, dead?
I started crying. It was like my whole world came caving in.
Then who was the man locked up in that Utah jail cell?